How are y'all this Tuesday midday?
Do we have anybody here yet?
I don't know. I need to refresh my feed here, and it says it's still waiting for me. But
Yeah, mine as well.
There it goes. It's there. Also, it shows we have 8. So if you are here, we would love to hear from you in the chat. Okay.
Yay.
So if you are new here, I am Lindsey, and this is my friend Nili. We do a weekly chat. Don't expect a whole lot of stuff and things from us to be super valuable.
I don't know. There's a lot of value.
Is valuable.
It's just not planned value.
There we go. Yeah. The value that we stumble into is like a bonus surprise.
Yeah. So bonus value, which is what we like.
Yeah, we like to just kind of hang out and chat and sort of catch up with one another while drinking coffee. What do you have to drink today, Nili?
I have coffee with cream. Surprise!
Oh, I'm so shocked. So shocked. I
should have put mine in my Element mug like you.
You should have.
They're so cute.
Because it came in the mail, I'm like, I must use it all times now.
Yes. And do you use Element in your coffee?
Yes. So right now I have decaf coffee, splash of heavy cream. I mean, like it's like maybe a half tablespoon because that was all that was left in the carton, and a chocolate Element packet.
Ooh, fancy smancy.
Element is not sponsoring today's video.
But if they wanted to, they could.
If they wanted to, I would be more than willing to tout them, because literally that is the only only electrolyte drink mix that I have consumed since I have started like using them, and it's like so good. The girls, they still use like the Redmond and the Perfect Keto electrolytes because they love those flavors, but I find that I love the ease with the Element stuff.
I know, I do too. I've become very spoiled since I started using them.
So spoiled.
Yeah.
Also,
the flavors are so good. So in our house, I just like if a kid needs an electrolyte, which happens often, because as soon as something happens, it's like, oh no, I have a headache, I need a electrolyte. Oh no, I stubbed my toe, I need electrolytes. I'll just say, do you want lemon lime? Do you want cherry? Do you want watermelon? Like, it's just flavors. They're not partial to a brand. It's just flavors.
That's right. Well, so my 5-year-old Lauren, she actually calls it tea. She calls electrolytes her tea. And she's been doing that since I was using Zip Fizz like years back. And she could actually say the word because we make it hot. So we do my little like Keurig 4 ounces of water and then cold water. So it's like room temperature warm, and she feels fancy with her little coffee cup if she's doing the coffee cup or whatever. She got to the point where she decided to start making her own electrolytes because, she is 5 now and she knows how to manage.
And she doesn't need you anymore.
And the counters, because everything is in a higher cabinet. She definitely does not need mama anymore. So she'll open them up. She'll be like, I think I need pink lemonade today. And she'll open it up and she'll scoop out her little scoop and she'll do all the things. And then she'll wander over to the Keurig and do her little 4 ounces of hot water. And then she'll wander to the sink and she'll get her her tap water. And I'm like, part of me is saddened by the fact that my baby is like so capable, but the other part of me is like, high five to me. Look at what I helped her learn.
that is like the war inside us moms, our hearts, where it's like you want them to grow up, but then you don't.
Yeah.
But then when they don't, then you're upset that they're not.
That's right. There's no logic to mothering.
Yeah. Okay. So before we go any farther, I prepared something today. Actually, I did put thought into our live stream today.
Do we need bongos for like? You did it!
I did, and I haven't tasted them yet. I brought myself a little piece of bacon because I always like to have eggs with something. Just So, anyways, I was gonna taste them. Do they look? Did they look
fantastic.
Okay, I just sprinkled them with a little smoked salt and fried them in butter.
Fantastic.
All right.
That is so exciting. Okay, for context, for context, before you take a bite.
Okay.
To those of y'all watching, we will address the chat here shortly.
Yes.
It's a fried hard-boiled egg. And
Yes.
on our most recent Fab 4 conversation, we discussed how amazing fried hard-boiled eggs are. And
Yes. And I have
Amy
not
backed
tried
me
this.
up on that.
Mhm.
So Nili is officially going to taste this and decide if it's worth the hype. Also, it should be noted that if she doesn't love them, it's okay, because it just means that there will be more for me.
It's true. It's true. All right. Are we ready?
Okay, we're ready.
Dink to your face.
Dink to my face.
Okay. I like them.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So for context, I do not like eating just plain hard-boiled eggs. Like, that's just not my thing.
Yeah.
I'll eat them with like sausage,
No.
like a bite with an egg and sausage in the same bite.
Yeah.
This, the butter and the salt and like the crispy flavor. I would take these over a plain hard-boiled egg any day. Seriously.
Yes. They are the best. I love fried hard-boiled eggs.
I love
all
it.
day, every day. They are my favorite. Also, yes, having bacon. So my friend and I, local friend, she and I were talking about these, and I told her about the fried hard-boiled eggs. She started doing that, and she said, "Oh my gosh, where has this been all my life?" And I said, "It's been in my brain." Not literally, but so I turned her onto those things. And so then we had more ideas involving fried hard-boiled eggs, but I'm not going to share those just yet because I still want to like workshop them for future endeavors. And we also decided that if we ever open a restaurant, it's going to be named like something with egg in it because, eggs. I realized like as I was telling you that if I were to share the name of the place, it would kind of give away some of my ideas. So I decided to pull back.
Yeah, you wouldn't want anyone to like steal your idea. You got to keep it close to the vest.
Right here. It's right in the sternum. Okay, chat. Hello, everyone in the chat.
Finish this. You can read the chat.
Blaze, she definitely understands the system here. She said that she had to guess, or she guessed that Lindsey had to fix the chat settings. Yeah, I don't know how I like screwed that up. I messed up on the chat settings somehow. We have Gary here and Jack. Judy is down in Albuquerque. I know about that place. Nyla from New Hampshire. Hello. Cindy's here. Oh, Cindy, you're at a restaurant. What are you having? Is it delicious? Gary's having some Diet Pepsi. Rickwin, hello. Oh, wow. Okay. So Rickwin said, Lindsey, Rickwin was watching the History of Eating channel, and that guy was talking about deviled eggs from medieval times. The cooks fried their hard-boiled eggs. It's just it's like a timeless classic opportunity for consuming hard-boiled eggs, apparently.
It's an ancient secret that you just rediscovered.
Yeah.
In us.
Yeah. I would be.
It gets lost. We get lost sometimes, and you discover, and you have done it.
I have done it. Also, as far as it being like from the medieval time period, I would love to know what part of the world it came from, because honestly, like if it happens to have come from Norway, then it just feels like kismet, because I'm like 50% Norwegian.
Excellent. Yeah, it's in your blood.
It's in my blood. I'm a little Viking at heart. But wow, I'm so glad that you tried those though. Like
they're good.
Hard-boiled eggs fried up in butter. There's like, and I also fried both sides. Did you fry both sides?
I did. I was afraid the other side was still going to be cold.
Yeah.
Like, that would not be appropriate.
Pleasant.
Yeah.
No.
Because with eggs, you either want them all the way cold or all the way warm, and there's no in between.
Yeah. So we don't go out to eat very often because with my husband's work, he travels all the time. He has to eat in restaurants all the time. So it's nice for him to be able to like just come home, yeah, and not have to choose things from a menu and just
Mm-hmm.
be like, here's the food that we are having. And also I appreciate not going out to eat very often because then it's like I don't know. For me, it's just like it's second nature, just put the food on the table and keep moving forward kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And also it keeps when we do go out to eat kind of like a nice treat, and so
Mhm.
the experience is 90% of the fun. So we went out to eat with some friends, and at this restaurant, it was this tiny little hole in the wall kind of gastro pub place, and they actually had deviled eggs on their menu, and I was like, what, this
That's
is
unusual.
amazing, who does this? Well, they did that, so that was pretty rad. They also
Did you have
did.
them?
I didn't have any of those. We opted for the deep fried Brussels sprouts, which
Mm.
were so crispy and so perfect that I thought I was just gonna fall out right there and go to heaven. It was amazing. They were like, like the crispy factor on tortilla chips, like that kind of crisp.
Yeah.
It was
Yes.
like it was adjacent to that, but it was
Mm.
Brussels sprout leaves. And I was just like, oh, so good.
Yeah.
So good. So
That sounds
delightful.
amazing. Yeah,
And
I was contemplating when I was frying the eggs how there's so many things that you can do with ingredients. And it's like and I was thinking back to like making when I first discovered the crepe recipe and the like the
yeah,
noodles with the gelatin and the egg whites, and I was like these it's so simple, but just
right.
one little tweak, one little change, like mix this with this, and you can make crazy stuff.
Infinite
Same with
possibilities.
the breading recipe that I, put together. It's like
Yeah.
who like we have used all of these ingredients so many times. I have used all of these ingredients so many times. Some of them for breading things, but just mixing them up just a little bit differently
Yep.
can make it amazing. And like for Brussels sprouts, you can have super bad Brussels sprouts if they're cooked in the wrong way and seasoned the wrong way or whatever. But then you can have like phenomenal Brussels sprouts.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh
I think
yeah.
it's like there's expensive food that is pretty good no matter what you do to it. I mean, you can ruin anything, but it's like the tender steak and the all the stuff. But then there's you know poor people food or less expensive food.
Budget.
But there are ways to make it as good, if not better, than the expensive food. So it's
Ten out
and
of
it
ten
all
agree.
comes down to technique. It all comes down to just like ingredient ratios and seasonings and just technique. So
Yes.
there you go.
I definitely agree with you. I mean,
Because it's
it's
like
pretty.
I was gonna say, it's like how many times have I eaten an egg with butter and salt? Like so
Yeah.
many. But
Yeah.
I just ate egg and butter and salt, and it was different. Like what the heck?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's so
I
good.
mean, so we were Jared's company, they gift at Christmas time like a $50 amount of meat from a local butcher to their employees.
That is a good
And
deal.
yeah, it is. This past year there were two Wagyu steaks, and they were small. They weren't like large. I mean, was
Yeah.
it this year? No, it was last not okay, reverse. Christmas 2021. That's when
Okay.
it was. Year and a half ago. And
Yes.
oh my gosh, it's impossible to screw up a Wagyu steak, to be
Oh yeah.
honest. I mean,
Yeah.
I personally say if it's mooing, I'm chewing,
Mhm.
where I just
Me
want it to
too.
kiss the flame and then we'll go ahead and chow. Jared
Yes.
likes his like rare to medium rare. And I know a lot of
Mm.
people prefer them a little more pink than, neon red.
Yeah. Yes.
And
Jeff
it's
likes
one of those
his
things.
well done. So that's been like a sore spot in our marriage forever.
Okay, I'm impressed you're still making it
I
work,
know.
but
I
God
don't
does
know.
incredible things.
I don't know how it's worked out for so long, but I like something dies inside of me every time I cook his steak till it's gray.
Well, I feel like with a Wagyu steak, you could cook it to medium or medium
Mhm.
well, and it would still retain like that juicy factor, that tender factor. But I don't think you're doing that to a chuck steak. That's
Yeah,
not
no.
working. But
No, no, no,
chuck
no.
steak can be just as tasty and just as like consumable and delightful as that Wagyu, as long as you prepare it well. It's
Yes.
ridiculous.
Yes.
It's
To crazy
ridiculous.
ketos are here.
Well,
They
hi
say
guys.
I was here with Joe, but you can screw up a Wagyu steak. Just cook it so medium well or higher. Yeah. Well, you could, throw a Wagyu steak in the Instant Pot and and make shredded beef with it. That would be pretty bad. That would
That,
be pretty
that would
bad.
just be like a crime against the cow.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's funny how like the more expensive things are, the harder it is to mess it up.
That's true. That is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. My brother,
But
my
okay,
youngest. Okay, go ahead.
theory. The more you spend on a cut of meat or some specific type of food, are you like intrinsically somewhat more cautious and a little more delicate with your choices when you cook that thing versus when it's just like a chuck roast that you're sticking in the instant pot to shred up later?
Yes.
Maybe
Yes.
a little less precious with
Oh my
it.
gosh. There's so much pressure when it's expensive. My little brother, my youngest brother, he has gotten into expensive steak. He's not married, he doesn't have kids, and so for his fun and his, extra money, he spends it on these fancy Wagyu steaks.
There's
And
worse things.
he's gotten really good at cooking them. He does like the sous vide but he like when he was here over the summer, he bought some and cooked us a fancy dinner. And you could tell like there's this like we got to make sure that, we can't mess this up. This is too much.
Right.
And funny, he like got this really fancy Wagyu, like Japanese Wagyu, which is like the best, I guess. And he
Yeah.
got like a certificate of authenticity that has like the nose print of the cow on it. Like, oh man, this is intense. Yeah, but then he cooked it for us, and you can only eat like this little tiny square of it because it's
Yeah.
so rich. It's like you can't just eat a whole pound
Gorge.
steak like you would.
Yeah.
Like right, it was crazy. It was an experience. It's one of those things that it's fun to experience, but I would
Yeah.
not be able to. Well, obviously financially, but just the richness of it. It's like you can't just have that every day. That's
I
not
don't
life.
know, like if money was no object, I think I would probably be trying my best to consume like 16 ounces of Wagyu a day.
Oh gosh. Oh,
It's so good. So,
we
so
were
good.
thinking that
Why?
we needed here on Squatternush Farm, we need to start doing goat Wagyu. Like figure out how to make goat Wagyu meat, and it could be like our specialty
I
here.
think that this is definitely an avenue to
We're gonna send the kids out to
investigate.
like massage the goats and like feed them, whatever fancy food they're
Oh
supposed to
yeah,
eat,
whatever it takes.
whatever it takes. I mean, we got all these little
Whatever it
workers
takes.
here. What are they doing with their lives?
I mean, it's not like they're like, not available to be working.
Exactly. It's not like they're learning or growing or anything. They just have time.
That's all they got. Literally all they got. I wonder what that would do for y'all if you were to become the only Wagyu goat farmers in the States.
I mean,
Like,
it seems like it's a really good business opportunity because I mean, you know how expensive Wagyu is.
right.
Yeah.
Also, you could start franchising it once you solidify your techniques. You can
Mm.
franchise that intellectual
Ooh,
property and
yes.
then have some more farms all across the state.
Certified goat Wagyu, like a certification
Yeah.
process for the farms. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Oh
we'll
yeah.
travel around and make sure they're doing it right.
I mean, it's only logical. I mean, and
Yeah.
you didn't have all your children so that they could just like leave you. You had them so that they could serve the farm and then y'all could go off and do your ventures and then come back and everything
Exactly.
is still
Just
operational.
stay here and massage the goats while we're gone.
Also, if you could learn to sing some lullabies that really just soothe their hearts, that would be great.
Yeah. Yeah. You keep their anxiety down.
That's right. I mean, we're looking for very gentle, delicious, tender goat here.
Yes.
Okay, we missed
Oh, it's
some
gonna be
more
so good.
conversation.
Well, Blaze is drinking grapefruit element, and I feel like she's just rubbing it in.
I know. I haven't tried grapefruit. This
Me
seems like a
neither.
major loss. and I've got to wait until summertime for the summer flavors to
No,
come out.
they
What
better
is this?
bring
Seasonal
it back,
Disney.
or I'm going to be very upset.
Indeed. Oh my stars. I'm getting
Okay, yeah, Two Crazy Ketos. It is rare to get an actually good chicken breast.
yeah.
It's so rare.
Okay, so
yeah.
that comment was that the same applies to the chicken breasts. People cook it to 165 or higher, and all it does is give you dried chicken.
It's horrible. And I think part of the reason that chicken breast is so commonly bad is because there's so much more fear about foodborne illness with it versus because everyone's like, oh, we got to just be extra careful and cook it all the way to 180 or higher. And it's just like, oh,
it's not good. Speaking of like concerning foodborne illnesses, so at that restaurant where they had like the
talk about puke again?
Do what?
Are we going to talk about puke again?
No, but so like this restaurant only had like 6 main entrees on their menu, and then they had like 4 or 5 burgers. Like it was a very limited menu, which was kind of the appeal. Like I don't have to choose between like 70 different items. One of the items that most of us got were these like super thick pork chops that were phenomenal, and they asked you how you wanted them cooked. And I told them like I would prefer medium. Okay. And like with pork, a lot of people are very apprehensive. So it was double thick chops, and mine was a gorgeous medium. I mean, a touch overdone, but a gorgeous medium overall when you consider like the whole chop. One of our friends asked for medium, and I tell you what, that thing was flat raw in the center, and they were like, is that a little too rare?" And they are very non-confrontational people. So instead of saying, hey, this is inedible, instead they just kind of ate around sort of like the more done parts on the outside edges, and then they took it home to finish cooking it themselves.
Yeah, they should keep their tip on that one.
You just paid like $30 for like this meal, and here you are going home to cook it for yourself. I couldn't. But so it's like one of those things where there is a fine line between cooked to the point where it's still nice, tender, and juicy, and then like not cooked, but still juicy.
It's like a razor edge too. It's like half a second and you've gone too far or not far enough. Like it is an art. It really is.
It's just like knowing when to cut into an avocado.
Exactly. Art. You got 5 minutes.
It's art.
There you go.
Good times.
Have you done much with sous-vide cooking?
I don't have one yet, and I'm still like waffling on the fence. Like, do I want one? Do I not? Do I bother? Do I not? And I've got one. So Joe and Rachel on True Crazy Ketos, they've got that Anova oven, and that thing is so cool looking. I just don't know that I can commit counter space to it, because in my kitchen there are only like 4 things on my counters at any given point in time. And so it's hard for me to dedicate to that. And that thing is definitely a counter space consumer. But the Anova brand had a sous vide that was like a stick sous vide. So I've had that in my Amazon shopping cart for like 2 months now, and I'm still just like, do I pull the trigger? Do I not? What do I? So I'm sitting in limbo on it.
I just was filming yesterday a review of a product, and I need to go look at Two Crazy Ketos review of the Anova oven, because I think it's a similar concept, but it's like air fryer size. Like it looks like an air fryer. And so that video will be coming soon, but I cooked the most beautiful steak and I didn't have to do anything. Like, put it in there, press the button, because it has a temperature probe in it, and it has like a sous vide setting. So it's not actual sous vide because it's the oven. And then it like injects steam and does all these things, and so it like does the whole sous vide thing, and then it bumps up the temperature to get the crust on it without overcooking. It was phenomenal. So that's coming soon.
Well, I am intrigued, like very much so intrigued. And the reason I haven't actually pulled the trigger on getting a sous vide is just because it's one of those things where I know that it would be the focus of my whole food consumption for like a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know whether it would carry on in perpetuity or if it would be one of those things like that was so fun and now it's in a
Right.
cupboard.
But it wouldn't make it into your everyday life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whereas like
I've had that before.
the Vitamix, that thing actually has a dedicated cabinet in my kitchen now because of all of the accoutrement that
Mm-hmm.
came with it, or that my husband gave me with it. And I actually do pull that thing out. I use it probably 4 times a week right now. So it was one of those deals where it's like, okay, that was solid. Good
Mm-hmm.
deal. The air fryer I have on my kitchen counter, the girls use that every day, literally
Mm-hmm.
every single day. My KitchenAid I use probably 2 to 3 times per week, so it gets a spot on the kitchen counter. And the coffee machines never stop running, so they're allowed to stay.
Oh,
So,
absolutely. Absolutely. So one thing that I loved about this product that I was working on yesterday is that it takes the place of an air fryer because
yeah,
it has an air fry setting also. So I like that because I was like, I don't want another product, but if it's something
yeah.
that replaces something that I have that functions the same way, plus has more features, I was like, this is kind of interesting.
Right. And like that's sort of my like I know that Joe and Rachel's Anova, it takes the place of like a ton of different appliances. It's
Yeah.
that real estate that I struggle with on the counter because I cluttered counters make for my brain to just like go to garbage. It's just
Oh, me too. I hate
cluttered
it.
chaos in my head.
Yeah.
And people who can have all of their things out, that's amazing. I would
Like
probably
Lisa's
use so
cluttered
many other
kitchen.
things. Yeah. I just I just can't though. Like I would probably use more things and go through products more quickly, or I would remember things more often if I could stand to have it on the counters. But my brain just I mean like even both of my instant pots live in a cabinet. It's that kind
Mm.
of deal where I'm like, oh, I just so many things. But yeah, I can't wait to see your video on that because I might be interested in swapping things out.
All right.
Okay,
Well,
we
it's
have
coming
missed
and
so
I'm
many
very excited about
comments.
it. Alan is here. Good morning, Alan.
Hi,
And
Ellen. I
Amy's
just
here.
watched your video.
Alan's video?
Yeah, he just
Okay.
posted a grocery haul,
Oh,
and I was
excellent.
watching that as I was washing dishes.
Ah. I was right before we got on, I was watching Keto Upgrades update video. Did you see that pop
Oh
up?
yeah? No, I
Yeah.
haven't
She
seen that
hasn't
one
been
yet.
on for a while, obviously, because she had a baby. And that takes
Uh-huh.
that takes a little bit of time and commitment.
Sure
So,
does.
but yeah, I was happy to see her back.
Yay.
Um, and then so Two Crazy Ketos say that they know what I'm talking about, and they think it's a great medium between the stick sous vide and the Innova oven. Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. And I
Interesting.
like the idea. What?
Do you have a stick sous vide?
I don't, but I
Okay.
know how they work. And my brother, when he was here, he used one, so I'm aware. And I have instant pots that have sous vide settings. I just have
Uh-huh.
never gotten into doing it, partly because I don't love the idea of cooking in plastic. Even though it is a lower temperature,
Yeah.
I'm just like, ugh, do I want to like put all that effort into learning how to do this when I'm not super excited about the plastic touching the food as it's cooking? So,
Right.
anyways, I know there's like silicone you can do and stuff. I just
Sure.
haven't gotten into it.
Yeah, I've
Mm,
got some of those silicone storage bags, which is what I would have planned to use. Well,
yes.
that's what my brain is like. I'm going to use that, but I also know whenever I like use my silicone like reusable what are they pastry bags for like filling up my mayonnaise jars and that kind of stuff. It's so irritating to wash those. It's ridiculous.
Mhm.
But at the same time, what's more ridiculous, the cooking in plastic or washing the silicone kind of, conundrum? Like you can't always win everything, so that would be the path I would take. But I must see this wonder machine that is
Yes. Yeah,
sort of
it's got a
midpoint.
Kickstarter. It's got a Kickstarter going, so it's not available to purchase yet, but it will be very soon. So my video will align with that
Okay.
timeline. That timeline. So, let's see. So Amy is here. The Angel's Journey, if anyone didn't recognize that's Amy, previously Carnivore's Angel, now
Yep.
Angel's Journey, Amy's
That's
journey.
right.
Amy's Angel Journey.
And she did a video explaining all about how she migrated from one name to the other. So go check that out.
Yes, yes. She says she wished she kept her sous vide when moving from California. Oh my gosh, she did a whole brisket in it. That's crazy. Now that's not something I could do in this oven because it's like a 6-quart air fryer size.
Sure.
So yeah.
I leave all of the large cuts of meat to my husband, like the briskets.
Yeah.
He manages that on the Traeger and all that stuff.
Yeah. So I have wanted a smoker for so long, and my husband and I have decided that we will get one as soon as we have some kind of a covered area ready for it.
Like a pavilion.
Yeah, something so it's not out in the elements, or that I don't have to like put it away in the garage and take it out every time. And it's like there's always something else to do.
I know, it's not like you've got like children and chickens and goats and
Yeah.
Are you like going to put in a garden this year?
Chicken coops and building a greenhouse and finishing the basement. It's like all of that is a priority over smokers. And I don't understand that.
I don't either. So when we got ours in Wisconsin, and what happened was we manage our finances in a very specific way. And because of that, we got a ton of cash back that Jared cashed in and then spent on a Traeger. So it was kind of like not free money, but it was,
right.
Kind of.
It didn't take away from anything at the moment.
It didn't take away from anything else. That's right. And in Wisconsin, you can only use those kinds of things whenever you have like good weather or thermal blankets that are extremely thick. So it was like not used a ton. And even here, he's not been able to use it a ton just because traveling and dragging the thing out and putting it back and all that stuff. But we do really like the Traeger. We do. It's a good one.
Yeah.
And there's so many different attachments you can get to add to it and all kinds of fun stuff. Also, somebody said something about
an outdoor kitchen would be amazing.
That's what I sort of logged on to. I was like, an outdoor kitchen.
The only thing here is that you'd only be able to use it for a few months out of the year, really. I mean, I guess if it was covered, you could have some kind of heater or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, if you really wanted to get into it, there are some channels that we watch that are barbecue channels and they've got outdoor kitchens and I'm just like,
not like we don't have room for it. We can find a space.
Oh, for sure.
That would be amazing. Maybe one day.
Add that to the list that requires time and money. Just add that to that.
Exactly. Dang it. Why?
Okay. So Joe said something about how Rachel sent all of his things outside into the garage.
Yes, I could see that. So Jeff does not use the kitchen often. That is not his thing. He has his garage full of all of his power tools and stuff. But I can imagine that if he wanted to use my kitchen, it would be difficult with the amount of appliances that I have. So I can understand why Rachel would do something like that. Oh, and he says Amy got him hooked on freeze drying.
Hours.
Now a freeze dryer, those are really loud, I've heard, which I would imagine means you don't want them in your kitchen because they run for hours and days, right?
They're supposed to go for like 24 hours or so, depending on the food, right? And I would love to play with all of these fun things. I wish we had like some kind of a co-op living situation where we could have like the barn where you went to go use all of these different things. And so kind of like fractional ownership. And we could, like slot and be like, okay, well, this week I'm going to use the freeze dryer and next week you're going to use the freeze dryer and all those things. And then, wouldn't that be just
why do we have to live so far apart?
So far away.
Yeah, Lindsey and I were talking yesterday or the day before about how incredible it would be if we lived close by and we could be like, okay, I'm taking your kids for Tuesday so you can film in peace, and then you take
Yeah.
my kids for Wednesday so I can film. Like that would just be the most incredible situation.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah,
And we
but
could also
sadly,
have this shared barn kitchen. Oh dear. Did
exactly.
I
And we even have a barn.
freeze? I think this is, I mean, like, I've got a barn too. We
Yeah.
call it the shop. But at the
Yeah.
same time, it's like, where could we meet that would be a beautiful place to live, have enough land for each of us to do what we wanted to do, and have a matching property line where we could put the central location of all of these cool appliances. That's all we got to figure
Well,
out.
we have some neighbors that have been trying to move for a while, so
Well, and Oregon does have some beautiful parts.
it does.
I mean,
Yes, the part we are in is quite magnificent.
yes. Now, don't go out to Bend. It's a little bit disgusting out there, but
Unless you like rock climbing. Not really my thing, but some people love it.
yeah, I mean, and y'all aren't, well, I guess y'all are kind of far from Utah. Skiing in Utah, I want to do that. We
It'd
live
be like
so
12-hour drive.
to Park City, but we moved before the winter came.
Mm.
I want to go. I want to go back to the Rockies. That's
And
the happy place for me.
oh, okay.
Okay.
So Two Crazy Ketos is talking about the Yoder smoker that Keto Savage is giving away. Did you hear about that? The Keto Brick people, they're doing some kind of a giveaway. I don't know all the details, but they're doing a Yoder smoker giveaway, and apparently those are the best. I am not up on all the smoker stuff, but apparently Yoder is amazing.
Well, I am going to have to investigate that. Of course, okay. I don't know that we require another smoker, so I think I'll just investigate it, but I won't enter because I don't want to be competitive against those people who would really, really use it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Do you ever think that way? Like, oh, so and so is doing a giveaway. That's so fun, and I want to I want to encourage that, but also I don't want to be entered into it because I don't have need for that thing, and there are others out there who could really utilize that and use it well. And I'm like, so I'm just gonna sit here silently.
Well, actually, this morning I watched Keto Simple's 3,000 subscriber celebration video. Did you see that one?
I haven't watched that one yet.
Yeah, they're amazing, but they're doing a giveaway, and they were like, just comment to enter the giveaway, and I was like, I'm gonna comment to say congratulations, and then I was like, but I don't want to enter in the giveaway. I mean, it's so I feel you on that one, especially with YouTubers. It's like I can't comment on another YouTuber's giveaway and enter. That's just not
feels weird.
Done.
That's just not weird.
But I do want to say congratulations too.
Yeah,
because that's awesome. That first, 1,000, 3,000, 5,000 subscribers, like you work so hard for those subscribers. Like not all amounts of subscribers are created equal.
That's right.
Those first ones are like hard fought for.
They really are. I mean, I still feel like I am fighting for everybody who chooses to subscribe to my channel at this point. And I'm like, y'all all matter so much.
Yes. Yeah. At some point, YouTube starts helping you out a little more, with putting your stuff out, and, and you don't really have a lot of control over that. So like in the beginning, when you're doing it all, it's like YouTube's not helping you a bit.
Well, and I feel like if my time wasn't so divided amongst all the things that I do, or if we were actively sharing all the things that I do, here's how much time we spend homeschooling, and here's what we spend doing, church stuff, and here's what we spend doing home stuff, and all of those pieces, I would think that there would be a broader spectrum of people, but still low on the view counts because it would be so diversified. But also, it's hard enough just to keep track of what I'm doing, let alone trying to add all onto a channel kind of a thing. So
yes. Yeah, I've for a long time have decided that my channel just is what it is. Like I
Yeah.
cannot get into all of the optimizing and figuring out which kinds of videos are perfect and how to exactly make the thumbnail. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just offering what I have in this season of life. It is what it is. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Like that's it. That should be my tagline on my
It really should. Well, and I
because
think
I'll have
also
people tell me you need to do only Instant Pot recipes, you need to only do keto recipes, you need to start a separate channel for your farm stuff. You need to, and I'm like, sorry, I just can't. So it is what it is. If you don't like it, unsubscribe. That's fine.
And for me, it's not even just like you need to optimize it. It's that you have to put all of the mental effort into thinking, okay, this goes here, and compartmentalizing and being very detailed. And the number one thing that I am not is highly detailed for sustained periods of time. I can be micro focused for details for like a very finite period of time, but I am much broader picture, much more like drop it and run kind of a person. And just like once it's done, I've moved on to the next thing.
Right.
And I just, it's so much work. And because it's not like a full-time job career for me, it's still a hobby.
You already
I
have
feel like
3
that's
full-time
appropriate.
jobs.
I do have a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
A lot
Well,
of jobs.
4 if you count your husband.
I know, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I would say is like kids and husband are the priority. Like
That's
the
right.
YouTube will be on the back burner. Like, and for my husband, it's different. Like his job, obviously, if there was an emergency or something, we're priority. But you know, he prioritizes his job number one to provide for our family. For
Yeah.
me, my YouTube channel does provide for our family, but the priority level is different. You know,
Yes.
it's like that's just how we have it set up, and that's how it works. And so.
Well,
Sometimes I don't get back to comments.
yeah.
Sometimes I say I'm going to do a certain type of video and I don't end up getting to it. You know, it's just like, it is what it is. You get what you get and you don't take it.
That's right. That's right. The same is true for my husband. Like any kind of hobby or what have you is always going to be on the back burner. It's, provide for the family first, manage the household with me second, and then going through and doing little hobbies and things like that. Now, if we ever do buy the catamaran and all of the kiteboarding equipment and all of the other gear that goes with blue water sailing the world situation, then we might turn that into a full-time job.
Yeah. Wow, that would be awesome.
I want to do that so much. So much.
That would be cool.
It's just not the season.
Would you consider doing it when your kids are young or just when they're out?
Oh yeah. I would do it tomorrow. Truly.
Okay. Yeah. That would be amazing.
Now, the kids would not love that because Caitlin, she is into horse riding, and that's kind of a land sport. So
seahorses, can't really ride those, but you could do like dolphin riding.
we could do dolphin riding, but she's just like always been like heart after horses. And so we're finally in a place where the stables are great and she loves riding them, like riding with them and doing the shows and all that kind of stuff. So we're like fully integrating into that world, which means that it would probably behoove us to wait until, like she's officially out of the house.
Yeah. My aunt and uncle, well, my aunt mainly has horses. She's had horses forever and just, is a horse person.
Yeah.
And my uncle retired from his job, and what he wanted to do when he retired was to travel more, like get an RV and like travel around. And so it was kind of like, well, I guess you're doing it without me because I can't, travel with my horses. But then they ended up getting an RV and a horse RV. I don't know.
The horse trailers.
They started traveling around with their horses. Like, oh my gosh.
I would imagine.
I haven't heard how it's worked out for them yet, so I'm still waiting to find out.
Yeah, going to the KOA, you're not gonna find as many open spots for an RV plus a horse trailer.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little different than the dogs.
Well, and I told him, I was like, well, you could come visit here because we have a horse barn, but not everyone has a horse barn.
Right. Yeah. Caitlin, she constantly says, Mom, that property looks like it's for sale. Do they have a horse stable? Do they have a stable? Do they have a stable? And I'm like, baby, we are not moving again for some time. So just gonna calm it down on that. And she's like, I know, but all we need is like 2 horses, and you could have your milk cow, and Molly could have her pigs. I'm like, oh my stars, child.
Well, we have no plans to get horses. There were horses on the property at some point, like at least one. We don't have any plans to, but the neighbors across the street have horses, so we see them all the time. And then the neighbors just a little bit down have miniature horses. So we get to see those all the time. They're so cute.
She's been pestering me like, Mom, these super miniature horses, they're like the size of a dog. And I'm like, I can't with you, child. I can't. Do you understand that we cannot do this in our homeowners association?
Yes. I saw a listing pop up on a Facebook group, a local Facebook group, and it was someone with a horse stable saying, asking for someone to come work in exchange for like as much riding as you want and stuff like that. You need to find something like that where she could muck out the stables and then have access.
Right. That would work out quite nicely for her.
Okay. Bye, Amy. Amy's got to go.
Amy. Have fun with family calling.
They just always need something.
Okay, so we've missed tons of stuff here.
Yes. Two Crazy Keto say that they want to know when YouTube starts helping out, and you want the plaque. Okay, the plaque. Subscriber number doesn't mean a ton. You know, it's like you guys, Two Crazy Ketos, they have so much engagement.
Their community over there.
That is impressive.
I mean, I think it's a testament to the fact that this is their heart's passion to truly build community. And they're not just saying that because you see the evidence, like you see the fruit of what they have done.
People are excited to come and watch and join in the live streams and all that.
So. And they're engaging. And also I feel like Joe's personality is one that I emulate myself. And so I'm like, yeah, I can get on board with that.
I wish I emulated Rachel's personality more. She is the most positive person I have ever seen in my life. And
there's no stopping her.
It's like you can't watch one of their videos or their live streams without just being encouraged and like feeling good about yourself.
Right?
That's a gift. Like seriously, that is a gift.
They are pretty phenomenal people.
Yes. Joe says YouTube is the hardest job he's ever done. I agree. There are so many benefits because you make your own schedule, you're the boss, and like the community that you get to build and the people that like there's so many benefits. Obviously we do it because there's the benefits, but I totally agree. It is hard and emotional. It's like an emotional roller coaster because you get these comments where they're just like praising you and saying how wonderful you are. And then the next minute you get this comment about how you're ugly and horrible and stupid and talk too much and your sweater is ugly. And you're just like,
yep.
What do I do with all of this feedback?
Yeah, that's
pretty intense.
It's a very intense situation.
It's such a different job because you're putting yourself out there. It's not like I'm just going to a 9-to-5 job and doing what they tell me to do. And if someone has a problem with it, it's like, it's the job. You just leave it there. Yep. When you're doing this, it's like, I'm putting my life and my family out there and
personal decisions
a little bit more personal.
Are being shared. Yeah.
So, but it's so rewarding at the same time.
Yeah, it is fantastic because around here, I actually now I can name probably 3 people who follow a low carb keto like way of life in my community, like my active community. Whereas before that, it was nobody. It was me. And so being able to just like say, oh, I can connect with that, or I understand that, or me too, or that's a great idea to implement in my life, or here's the ideas that I have. And somebody respond and say, oh, that's a great idea. I want to do that too. Like being able to have that synergistic like community is so great where you can't have it maybe in physical real life. And it's just
unless you come to KetoCon.
I know. I'm so jazzed. I am so jazzed. I was on Two Crazy Ketos live stream talking about like, what are you gonna wear? Because I mean, like as a Texan, I do practice the art of like having hot weather clothes on and
Mhm.
cold air conditioner clothes available.
Mhm.
And also I've figured out my body is pretty adaptable to temperature shifts. So that's really cool. But I'm like, is this more like, like business? Is this more like wicked casual going to Texas State Fair? Like what
I'm
is
gonna be pretty casual, I think.
what I'm trying to wrap my brain around it because the number of actual conferences I've ever gone to in my entire life
Mhm.
are like non-existent.
Mhm.
So my head's saying, "Oh, like it's like a bunch of businesses doing things and a bunch of speakers, so it must be something where you have to dress like business casual." But
No, I don't
I
see KetoCon being that way. Maybe like the
okay.
Metabolic Health Summit, like academic with lots of
Yeah.
yeah. I see KetoCon as being just like fun, hangout, casual.
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, that's what I'm planning on. Maybe I'll be like the most underdressed there. That would be fun. But hey, see what you get. I don't do much more than I do
Right?
on my videos.
Well, and that's another thing, like, my wardrobe is pretty much, like, well known on my channel. Like, if you watch my videos, you're pretty much gonna see what I got other than, like, dresses
Yeah.
because I don't wear dresses on the daily. But
Yes, me
so it's one
neither.
of those things where I'm like, if it's got pockets, I'm happy.
Yeah. So Alan says horse rides on the beach. Is that something that you do, Alan? Because that would be awesome.
That would be pretty wild.
Yes.
Very,
I mean,
very wild.
that's like movie level, like cinematic level achievement. So if you
For
do that,
sure.
that's impressive. And I want to see like a vlog of the day that you
Absolutely.
go horse riding on the beach. That would be amazing.
Yeah. I gotta see horse riding on the beach. I think I would like to participate in horse riding on the beach. Yes. Yes to that. Must
Yeah.
see that. Or is Alan just suggesting that
Because
as
it's a
an
good
option
suggestion as well.
when you go blue water sailing?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
I guess
know.
so, yeah, because you were talking about sailing and then the horses being the problem. So maybe he's trying to merge the
Marry
two,
the two up a
which
little
is
bit.
genius.
I think
Yeah.
though my daughter's ultimate desire is to have a stable of her own with horses of her own and,
Wonderful.
sort of just become an equestrian full
I
stop.
see someone behind you.
Hi, do you need me, baby? Okay, go figure. You can go get in your room. Okay. I did not see her behind me.
So cute.
That's what it's
Oh,
like living
goodness.
in the fish. This room is like a fishbowl. It's all glass.
Yes,
So
which is great for lighting. I
it
love it.
is nice for lighting, and it's also how I feel all day, every day in my real life. Like my entire experience is with children just observing me, like
Yes.
they're like
Mhm.
in like I'm a fish in the fishbowl, and they're just observing me like this. What are you doing?
Yes.
Why are you doing
Yeah.
that?
And like
If I
knocking
poke
on
you,
the fishbowl.
if I poke you, will
Please
you do
do not
something?
tap the glass. Okay,
Oh my
Joe says that
stars.
KetoCon is very casual, which is
Okay.
good to know. Yes.
All right.
Um, all right. Gary was asking if we're doing a talk or a meet and greet at KetoCon. The answer thus far is no. We will just be there.
We'll
We
just
will
be
be
cruising
attending,
around,
cruising around. Yep.
looking for interesting stuff and things.
Yep. With our husbands following behind us.
Hopefully bonding. So they're not totally
Hopefully.
bored.
Yeah. Actually, they'll probably become friends and like ditch us and like be off doing something else, which
That
would be funny.
that's probable.
Yeah.
Definitely probable. Good times.
Totally
Okay,
possible.
listen, we're fast approaching an hour.
We are.
And the initial reason we started these chats was not just to be able to chat and hang out, but also to kind of hold one another a little bit accountable to things that we may or may not want to do in our lives, and namely exercise. So as the host channel this week, will pose the question to you.
Hey.
Neely, you said we were going all the way back to the whole like, if you just achieve one workout for the week, you have met the goal. How did you do?
Totally failed.
Oh!
I just cannot, like I told you before, I'm an all or nothing person when it comes to
Yep.
stuff like this. And I am just on the nothing end. It's like I cannot like pull myself together to do it. And to be fair, I have been extremely busy. And so I've just like
None of this.
allowed it to go by the wayside.
No, that's not possible. All you're doing is sitting around, eating your keto bonbons, drinking your keto coffee, just letting your children do all their work. Yep.
Like keto bonbons.
Evidence. Look at that.
And bacon. My
I've been
keto bonbons and bacon and fried eggs. I did clean out the chicken coop.
Well,
I did knock out the goat bed stable thing.
Okay.
I did help move some chicks to a bigger area.
Yep.
And create a chick habitat.
Okay.
You know, we went on our hike this week.
Okay. We're not actually counting that, but I feel like if you were to sort of mash all of that together, it would be loads of work.
It counts.
Loads of work. Absolutely.
So it's like there's intentional exercise, which for me, that is only yoga, like stretching and strength training, specific like muscle group strength training. Beyond that, I just want to have an active life. It's like if I have to intentionally say I have to do a 2-hour walk every day, I feel like that means I'm not having an active enough life.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm winning to a degree on the active life thing.
I would definitely concur.
So when I say I didn't exercise this week, I mean very specifically the strength, lifting weights, and the yoga, which is really good for me. And I know I need to do it, but I think the active life counts for something. So active life, check.
Okay.
But I do need to get back to the yoga at least, and then the strength training if I can manage it.
Right. Well, and I'm with you. Like, I think that doing walking is really good for us, like emotionally and just like overall wellness. However, in different seasons of life, we just can't get it all done, especially if we prioritize sleep as well.
Yes.
And I do think that sleep, the value added to that is high. So you gotta pick and choose the variables you're willing to work on. So
yeah. And I feel like between now and getting home from KetoCon, like I'm not going to be able to focus heavily on the additional exercise.
Yeah.
It'd be great if I got a few yoga sessions in, but I just feel like there's going to be so much. Like the last time I left for a week, the last time we actually went on a vacation was, besides the beach house, was a couple of years ago. We drove to Montana, but that was with 3 of the kids. So the last time that me and Jeff went on a vacation was when Autumn was like 6 months old, or maybe a year. And like the amount of work it takes to prepare not just yourself to be ready to go away for a week, but to prepare the farm and like food stock for people and figuring out where people are going to be and animals that need to be taken care of, like all of the logistics. Like that's where my mind is going to be the next 2 weeks. And so I'm not committing to anything else. I'll say it'll be nice. It would be nice if I did. And if I find myself with, that happening, great. But I have other focuses for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. I mean, every time that Jared and I have traveled out of the country, it's been like, oh my word. I've got to figure out who's doing what for what child, where are they going to go? How are they going to be there? Here's like 50 pages of lists of information. Like if you have this issue, call this person. If you have that issue, call that person. If you've got this going on, don't worry about these school things, but the girls have these school things that they need to get done. And if you have problems, here's where you find solutions, or, here are all the activities. Here's all the food. Here's us packing for all the things. So we may not have the farm, but it's definitely an intense situation when you are, and I think the struggle with it is that we just do these things automatically.
Yes.
And
To
the
have
way
to
that our
think
brains
about it
work,
and put them all down on paper, it's overwhelming.
it
We really should
really
get a raise.
is.
I'm going to bring that up at my next review.
I think that's good. Yes, absolutely. 10 out of 10 agree. You have my full support. In fact, I will also take a stand. And if you don't get that raise, I also will stop doing the work for the monies.
Let's go on strike.
This is a
This is going
great
to be
idea.
epic. Okay. All right. So what about you, Lindsey? What did you do this week?
Actually, I got 3 workouts in, which I said only one. So look at me. I high five. Yeah. Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1. High five. Okay.
Your high five lasted longer than mine.
Well, you almost left me hanging, and so I was like holding and holding.
Well, I think there's a little delay because I pulled mine back and you were still holding.
It's fine. I can be the weird one. It's okay. It'll be a-okay. So yeah, I got 3 different exercise workouts in, miles of walking, and then different strength training. Really, it doesn't feel like it's actually doing a whole lot for me other than, like mental refocus time or the opportunity to like listen to a part of a podcast, because usually I can only go for about half hour before somebody decides they desperately require my assistance immediately.
Yes.
So,
And very loudly.
oh my stars. Persistence is definitely a character trait that my children just have that comes naturally.
Yes. Well, my thing is I'll be taking a shower and it's like I can't hear through the door when the shower's going. And so I've started just saying, if they knock on the door when I'm in the shower, I say, I'll be out in a little bit. I don't say like, who is it or what do you need? But still, I'll be like, I'll be out in a little bit. But mom, I wanted to ask you if blah, 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 blah. I'll be out in a little bit. You can talk to him about the shower.
My favorite thing is, where is your father?
Yeah. Yeah. Or
Because-
like you have a lot of older siblings that are very capable. I have taught them myself. I know how capable they are. They can help you get your yogurt.
They have been trained by management. They are signed off in the logbooks. They are capable.
Yeah. But then they'll be like, but I asked them and they said no. Go tell them that mom said they have to help you or they're going to be in trouble.
Go tell them that they have to help you, or else when you wake up in the middle of the night, I'm sending one of them in after you.
There you go. Oh man.
Children are fun.
They are fun. They're so fun. It's a good thing they're just so cute.
I find that to be a
things.
blessing and a curse that they're so cute. It's a problem because when we're around other people and they pull the shenanigans because they know they can kind of get away with it a little easier, or they can get away with it for like a second longer than they would at home. I'm like, because you see all the other moms like, oh, but they're so, and I'm like, you need to wipe that. Oh, they're so cute.
Not
Look
cute at all.
face, because you are making my job even more difficult. I need you, parent, to go stand in the corner till I'm done dealing with my child.
Seriously. Seriously.
Listen, there is a hierarchy in our pack, and I am the alpha. They are not. I need to stay the alpha without you detracting from that. When they get out of this house, then they can be their own alpha. But
exactly,
we got to maintain some sort of level of
structure.
Something. We got to maintain some sort of discipline here. Otherwise, we're all going to go chaos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Always on the edge of chaos.
Oh my goodness, as evidenced by my fishbowl.
Name for a YouTube channel, On the Edge of Chaos.
I like the phrase chaos adjacent. Like that's been like a really big tagline for me, is something adjacent. It's never the thing. It's adjacent.
It's very close.
It
Yeah,
works.
because we do work very hard to keep the chaos away.
Yeah.
And I don't want to diminish that by saying we're just in chaos, because we're not. There
No.
is order. I mean, the fact that we can sit here and chat for an hour and only have one interruption from a small child, that means we're doing okay.
It's pretty impressive. Pretty
Pat ourselves on the
impressive.
back here.
I need to stretch before I do that again.
Yeah, I know. I really got to do some yoga this week.
Okay. Okay. Now that you have mentioned all of the things that you have to do in order to prepare for going to KetoCon, it has my wheels spinning on, oh snap, I have got to go through and start organizing for all 5 of us because my kids are going to go to my parents' house, which means that we also we have to have outdoor mudden clothes. We have to have like reasonable clothes to wear when we are not outdoor tearing holes up in our pants. But it's also Texas. So, like out where they are, could we have hot weather? We got to have like the whole range of wardrobes for all of us at this point because springtime in Texas is not the easiest thing to decipher. Like at least I'm
gonna have to pull out my summer clothes. They're all put away. I am not wearing summer clothes right now. It is cold.
And that's the thing of it. Like in July in Texas, for sure that it is going to be sweltering hot. You are going to die of heat stroke if you are not dressed appropriately. Springtime, you can kind of like, you run the gamut. You really do. So it's hard to really, hard to be prepared. Yeah. But,
we can do it. We got 2 weeks.
We can. Okay. We'll just pray and get it done.
Yeah.
All right. I think though, because I did have at least one interruption that I'm aware of now, there are probably others happening, and 7th grade math is 7th grade math. So
it is.
I need to make sure that the focus has stayed on the math and that there are no tears down there.
Sounds great. Let's do it.
So
let's move on to our other responsibilities in life.
Responsibilities. I did manage to make my cup of coffee last this whole chat this time.
That's amazing. I drank mine up really fast.
Well, I think because it was in the steel tumbler, it really kind of helped prolong the process.
Yeah.
So, okay, couple of housekeeping things. Next week, we are going to be over on Nili's channel, so make sure that you are subscribed, notification bells, all the jazz, so that when we go live next Tuesday, you will be part of it. And what else? Blaze, she sent a live chat earlier saying to hit the thumbs up. So if you did that, thank you so much. I do appreciate that. Anything else? We're not going to hold each other accountable to exercise for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. Maybe KetoCon will inspire us. Maybe we'll watch some talks about exercise or something, and we'll come back just ready to hit it hard. That's what I'm counting on.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Yep. Until then,
but it'll also be spring
living active lifestyles.
Yeah. But also managing our houses and not letting things slip through the cracks and filming the things that make life enjoyable for others and
all the things.
We're going to do it. Okay. Yep. Thank y'all so much for being here, and we will see you next week.
Yep. Bye, everybody.
Bye.